Satsang, everyone, on this beautiful Saturday evening. To those who are here with us in Satsang Hall and also those joining on the live stream, we'll begin with some kirtan chanting. So if you would like to follow along, we have the blue booklets in the back there as you walk in. We'll begin with some of the opening slokas on pages 9 through 11. And then when we get to page 12, we'll move into call and response. And following the kirtan, we'll have our MC for the night walk us through the rest of the evening. Okay, so beginning with 3 Ams.
Nityandayanti yoginaha kamadam mokshadam shaiva Omkaraya namo namaha Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanjaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Saka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mahadeva Deva. Jai Hai Guru Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram Jaya Shiva Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram Jai Hai Guru Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram Jagat Guru Param Guru Sad Guru Sham Jagat Guru Param Guru Sad Guru Sham Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om Ida Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om Chit Guru Chit Gana Guru Chit Maya Guru Om Chit Guru Chit Gana Guru Chit Maya Guru Om Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram Shivananda 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 Pahimam Shivananda 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 Pahimam Shivananda 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 Pahimam Shivananda 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 Pahimam Shivananda 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 Rakshamam Shivananda 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 Rakshamam Shivananda 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 Pahimam Shivananda 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 Pahimam Shivananda 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 Rakshamam Shivananda 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 Rakshamam Shivananda 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 Rakshamam Shivananda Shivananda Shivananda, Shivananda, Lakshamam.
Shivananda, 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 Lakshamam.
Shivananda, 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 Lakshamam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya.
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 Sachidananda Guru Sachidananda.
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 Shri Guru Jaya 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 Guru Sachidananda.
Jaya Guru Jagat 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 Guru Sachidananda.
Jagat Guru Param Guru Sachidananda.
Jagat Guru Param Guru Sachidananda.
Param Guru Om 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 Guru Sachidananda.
Sachidananda 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 Guru Sachidananda.
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 Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivo.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivo.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Shivom.
Samba Shivom.
Samba Shivom.
Samba Shivom.
Samba Shivom.
Amba Parameshvari Akilandeshvari Adipara Shakti Palayamam.
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 Om Mata, Om Mata, Om
Lalitamba
Amba Parameshwari Akhilandeshwari Adipara Shakti Palayamam
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 Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Jagadamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Jagadamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Lalitamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Lalitamba
Amba Parameshwari Akhilandeshwari Adipara Shakti Palayamam
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 Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Jagadamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Jagadamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Lalitamba
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 Amba Parameshwari Akhilandeshwari Adipara Shakti Palayamam
Amba Parameshwari Akhilandeshwari Adipara Shakti Palayamam
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Jagadamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Jagadamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Lalitamba
Om Mata Om Mata Om Shri Mata Lalitamba
Jagadamba
Jagadamba
Lalitamba
Lalitamba
Chidahanam Chidahanam Chidahanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidahanam Chidahanam Chidahanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidahanam Chidahanam Chidahanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
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 Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Chidanan Chidanan Chidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Harahalume Alamastu Sachidanandaham
Knowledge bliss, knowledge bliss, bliss absolute.
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 In all conditions I am knowledge bliss absolute.
In all conditions I am knowledge bliss absolute.
Knowledge bliss, knowledge bliss, bliss absolute.
Knowledge bliss, knowledge bliss, bliss absolute.
In all conditions I am knowledge 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 bliss absolute.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om.
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 Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om.
Hari 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 Om.
Hari 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 Om.
Hari 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 Om.
Hari 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 Om.
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 Hari Om, Hari Om, 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 Hari Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om. Hari Om,
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om,
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om,
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari 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 Om,
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om,
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari Om,
Hari Om.
Hari Hari Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om,
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om,
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om,
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om,
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om,
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om,
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om,
Shanti Om.
Om Shanti
There sits before you a gentleman surrounded by 5 goddesses. And we thank you all for that beautiful kirtan tonight. It was very, very uplifting. You could hear it clear out in the parking lot. Thank you for your divine chanting. Om Shanti. Hari Om. Good evening, everyone. All of our guests, visitors from Charlottesville and around, all of Yogaville, and our residents and staff. It's really a joy to be with you here this evening. It is my blessing and my honor on behalf of Satchidananda Ashram to welcome each of you to this heavenly space. Sri Gurudev always comes and joins us in his spiritual presence when we light the altar lamps, which we will do in a moment. But before doing so, we have a special guest that most of you have never met. And so I would like to invite Mataji or Karunananda or Hamsananda, I don't remember who was our invitee, to come forward and introduce the new member of our community. Mataji?
Well, I'm sure that for a couple of years, you've had the joy and the pleasure of meeting and being with during the day our beloved, full of service and full of joy, Lisa. But now we want you to get to have the joy and the pleasure of years and years to come, of now getting to see Sister Vani in our midst, serving you and loving her opportunity to be with all of you, with all of us, and knowing that she has that particular gift of being called to the Guru's feet, to be a sannyasi in this lifetime. It's a calling. And because it's a calling, it's something that you feel the uttermost gratitude in your heart. To know someone, to be with someone as they grow in that life, or to be that one yourself. And so many of us realize what a gift a life of dedication and service is in whatever way you do it. Not everyone is called to be a sannyasi, but they're called to love, to serve, to forgive, to adapt, adjust, accommodate. And what does that mean? Anybody who really loves and who really serves is doing all of that. As Gurudev would say, when you do in your life a loving service, that's all you need. Because you're going to do it joyfully and from the heart. And if you honestly are doing that, you're a good person. You have to be. And so, it's not asking so much of you in words, but it is asking a lot of you in heart. So if we all send our gratitude and love to Gurudev for giving us another big heart who wants to live this life with love and service and joy. what else do we need? We're happy. And that's the kind of fun that Gurudev is referring to. Have fun. Realize the generosity in each other's hearts and life. The name Vani comes from the name Saraswati. And when we think of Saraswati, we realize that it's a very elegant, a very seasoned heart and mind that she represents, one that is full of wisdom, full of knowledge, understanding, and the ability to communicate, the ability to share what she knows. And naturally, that is a quality that we want to develop, and we ask the Mother to bless us with that. We realize that there is a lot of interest and skill in this one, to be able to talk, to share, to play and entertain and inspire us with music, which is all of the aspects of sound. And those of us who have been reading and studying of what's the real meaning of sound, we realize it's much richer than just the word sound. It's the true communication. And that's part of Saraswati's gift to us. So we have someone who has many talents and skills, and above all, the ability to share. So let us welcome our beloved sister, Vani Chaitanya, officially. We use Chaitanya. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going. You're going to stay. She's walking you back to your chair. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mataji. You're the only person I've ever met on this planet who can turn an introduction into a satsang. It was beautiful, and we're so honored. It's really actually Mataji's primary influence. Lisa would come each day to drive Mataji, or many days a week, to drive Mataji to puja, which Mataji normally attends every morning. And on the way there, they would talk about the spiritual path and life. And so we thank you for being inspiration to our new initiate and for so beautifully sharing her qualities and traits with all of us here. Om Shanti Mataji. Well, the room is already filled with light, but having invited two of our sisters to come forward and light the lamps, they will now do so as we will be saying prayers together. Hari Om Somidai Nandaji, to the altar. We will be saying the prayers that we will be saying. No, my darling, you come to this altar. She goes to that altar. Okay. The prayers that we say to open our satsang are prayers that normally we say to close our worship services. And it's because of the peace that is generated by our practice at an ashram that we want to not just keep it here at the altar. We want to send that peace out to the whole world So as you're reading these words, and those of you who have a yellow sheet, the words are on the side with the world. Think of feeling that whatever word you're saying is going out through these windows, over the mountains, down the river, across the oceans, and really nurturing all those souls in the world who are in need of these beautiful qualities. So as the lamps are lit, everyone is invited to stand and to recite this affirmation together. Auspiciousness be unto all. Perfect peace be unto all. Fullness be unto all. Prosperity be unto all. Happiness be unto all. Perfect health be unto all. May all see good in everyone. May all be free from suffering. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You may be seated. Having evoked Gurudev's spiritual light into this room through the lighting of the lamps on our altar, we will now bring his divine presence from one of his satsangs where he speaks on facing tests, because indeed we all get tested in this world. And yoga has a way to teach us how to be strong and face such tests. So please enjoy this video entitled Part 1 of Facing Tests. Om Shanti.
Was that a good function yesterday? The weather could have been today's weather, they could have switched it from yesterday, but some of the people who visited, they said, no, that was the best weather. That was real Kailash weather. It was really a good test for our devotion, where we could stand the rain and then go and do it or not. Unfortunately, that is the way spiritual practices go. This continuous, constant test. Class test, weekly test, monthly test, quarterly test, semi-annual test. No ending of these tests. Even to get a little degree, you get so many tests. And reaching the goal of spiritual life is the biggest degree one can get. And for that, we have to face millions of tests. If you don't get the test, you should be sad about it, because God has forgotten you. God, the proof that God remembers you is that you are getting more tests in life. And God knows that you are trying to grow. The one who wants to get the degree gets the test. Those who are not interested, they don't have to get the test. And even the teachers don't get interested in testing the person. Likewise, God continuously, every step, wants to make sure that you are growing in the right direction, you are keeping up that zeal, faith and devotion. Then God is pleased with your interest and He shows you a little way further, and then another test, a little further, another test, until He gets fully satisfied with your seeking. It's a continuous, constant education. It's as simple as planting a pillar. Every moment you want to make sure that the pillar is strong and steady, well planted. So how would you do it? Just go and try to shake it a little. If it shakes, what would you do? Put a few stones around and hit it with crowbars. Jam it. Then shake it. If still shaky, put some more stones, some more jamming, pounding. And when would that jamming stop? When you are sure that it is steady. That is the way. Until we become real steady, the jamming and slamming and pounding will be there. So no seeker should get disheartened by that. On the other hand, one should feel happy about it. Yes, I am being tested. This is the opportunity for me to prove my faith and devotion to God. Because spiritual seeking, spiritual goal demands a lot. We have seen in every case, every life of every saint, everybody who really went further up in that spiritual ladder. Even a little. Saint Ramakrishna used to say that if you want to thread a small sewing thread into the eye of a needle, even if one minute fiber sticks out, it won't go in. So you have to twist it. Even one little fiber will prevent it from going into the eye. All should be twisted together. Then it's easy to go through. Likewise, the spiritual seeker's mind is totally together. That's what we just heard from Swami Vidyananda. The togetherness, collective, one-pointed mind has to be there. Even one little distraction is enough to make us not to get into that. Look at that poor Abraham. He was all God's man. He lived for God, gave everything to God. Ultimately, he just got a little distraction. Forgot that God is the one who gave him the child. Even when he gave the child, he told him, keep it for a little while and then give it back to me. Like Markandeya. Mrigandu prayed, worshipped Lord, and Lord appeared to him and said, what do you want? I'm praying for a child. Is that so? All right. I can give you a child who can live with you for 100 years, the full life, but a terrible monster. But he will leave you for 100 years with you. Remember, you will have your son. Oh, is that what you are going to give me? No, I'm just giving you a choice. There is another child who is all wonderful, devoted bhakta, but unfortunately he can be with you only for 16 years. Which one you want? Choose. He being an intelligent man, he chose the 16-year boy. And of course the boy was born and grew up. At 16, the Lord sent his messenger, the god of death. Okay, go, bring him. Time. But in the Mrigandu's case, he didn't say, no, I can't give you. And Markandu also knows that. I have to go. So Dad, don't worry, the time has come. But you were such a loving father. It seems to be that I am taking a liking in you, and now I don't want to leave you. God told you that you should give me back to him, and you are saying, okay, though you are sad. But the problem is, I don't want to leave you. I want to be with you. Son, what can I do? That's your business. All right, I'll take care of it. So he went that day, the last day, started from morning till evening, worshipping as usual. He did regular puja to the Shivalinga, but that day, as you all can imagine, very intensely, he was doing the puja. And the Yama, the death, came and he waited because he can't take somebody who is doing that kind of intense puja. He waited and waited and waited, and this fellow never stopped the puja. So there was a sort of dilemma for him. Should I answer my boss and take him away, his life, or leave him to keep worshipping? He should have used his common sense, but he didn't think of the power of devotion. Having got tired of waiting, he just threw his loop around him. That's how the death takes your life away, like a lasso. But unfortunately, this little guy, as he was throwing that loop, he was hugging the Shivalinga. So imagine the loop fell on both. And for a minute, the messenger of death lost its sense. So that's why he was given that job. Anyway, started pulling. The Lord appeared from the Shivalinga. How dare you are doing this to my devotee. And he lifted his left foot, gave him a nice kick. That's it. Yama went to Yamaloka. Death came to death. Markandeya looked at him and said, you proved what devotion can achieve in life. It can even win over karma, destiny, death. Nothing is impossible to achieve by sincere devotion and prayer. But I gave Markandu a 16-year-old child. I can't take the word back. At the same time, I can't give you to the Yama now. He is dead and gone. So I am going to play a trick here. You will not grow more than 16. Stay 16 forever. So my way to Markandu also is fulfilled. Your devotion also got fulfilled, and Markandu will have an eternally young boy with him. And that's how even today in India also, live like Markandeya, ever 16. It's all over, but it still created a little problem. To whom? To God. That's why he couldn't put his left foot on the floor even today. He got a cramp. Kicking Lord Yama is not that easy. So, he couldn't, because it started maybe swelling, or you don't see the swelling, but something happened to the foot. He couldn't even place it on the ground again. So that's why Nataraja is still keeping his left leg like this. So even gods cannot escape from their karma. But in Abraham's case, he was reluctant, but ultimately he also obeyed the Lord. Took the boy to the mount, to the sacrificial altar, and gave the boy to God. What is the message in this? Is God interested in children? Are taking away things? Is he trying to take away things for his sake? No. He is trying to chop your attachment towards anything. Even one little minute attachment over anything is a distraction. As the Bhagavad Gita says, Manmana bhava mat bhakta madhyaji mam namaskuru. It looks like God is very, very, very greedy. Once you think of giving yourself to God, He wants everything. He doesn't want to spare even a little for others or for you. Wholesale, 100%. So even that one little attachment to a child, take it away. So the point here is, if your goal is really the spiritual goal, that means I just want God and nothing but God. By the way, today I got a wonderful letter, a resolve from one of our dear friend who is not here now, has gone to Vermont, Bhaktan Eberly. Wherever he is, still writes to me. He sends me his diaries and Today he wrote, I wish I brought it with me. He said, God is the first thing for me. Whatever I do, God first. Whatever I spend for God first. My energy, my time, 10% of my time goes to God. 10% of my income goes to God. Everything God, 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 God first. A simple man. Few days back he called me and said, I don't know, my house is in a mess. Why, what happened? My grandma and my ma, they were all by themselves living somewhere in different houses. And I, being the only son, I felt it's my duty to take care of both of them. So I asked them to come and live with me. And they happily accepted my offer. They both came. But I thought only the ma and grandma are coming. A lot of problems also came with them. They never got along. And then once they walked in, they started telling, oh, this is not good, this is not the way to bring up a child. Grandma and grandson Sam never got along. So there is total disharmony in the house. I don't know what to do now. My wife Prema wants to even run away somewhere. So I told him, it doesn't matter. Everybody should be ready to sacrifice something. Keep harmony in the house as your primary goal. No matter what happens, what your gains or losses are, sacrifice anything and everything, but not harmony in your house. I spoke to both of them. And today I'm so happy to hear him writing to me, say, Swamiji, there is harmony in the house now. We are all happy, we are all together. Because immediately I went and told everything that you told me to my mom. The mom stood for a little while. I thought she is going to shout at me. I think Gurudev is right. We are not setting good example for the children. No matter what our differences are, we should learn to live harmoniously, at least for the sake of the children. It's a great change in the mom's mind, immediately. And then the grandma followed. Everything is okay now. So naturally, he says, God first, God first, God first. Put God first. You have to have that implicit faith in that. Because our goal is that, God. That's the biggest goal in life. There's all other things can be easily achieved. When you want the big gain, you want to pay the biggest price. So in a way, God demands, all right, if you want me, don't want anything else. If you have even one single other want, you can't get me. Either me and nothing, or everything and no me. Isn't it terrible? How could God be that cruel? But again, that is the test. What did the Bible say? Seek the kingdom first and foremost. Don't worry about anything. Don't wait for anything. Sacrifice everything. God is my first priority. And then it continues. If you put God as your priority and if you get God, another miracle happens. What's the miracle? Everything else will be simply thrown into you. Whether you want it or not, they will be simply added unto you. I just love that particular word. All the rest will be added unto you. You don't have to ask for it. You don't have to beg for it. He simply says, oh, these are all nothing. Tuppence. Take it. When the big one goes, all the rest is nothing. Just take it all. If you get God, you get everything. If you get everything and no God, you got nothing. And what is the visible God in our life? God is not somebody who go and get him. Peace is your God. Supreme harmony, supreme peace, supreme joy. Without the opposite. Keep that as your goal. Nothing should take my peace away. I am ready to give up anything and everything if they are going to come and interfere with my peace. Peace is my priority.
So remember, if you want more of that beautiful video, next week, the second portion of it will be played. So those of you who will be with us will be able to see it here in this room, and those of you who are joining us by live stream, put it on your calendar and join us again next week. The Gurudev was saying, God, nothing but God. What we want is that peace and that harmony and that joy. So, where do we find that God? In each of us. And I would like to, before I introduce our speaker, make two apologies. First, Mataji, I apologize to you for making a little joke after your beautiful introduction of Lisa. It was not so kind, and I ask your forgiveness for that. And to everyone else, I apologize for what's happening with our screen. Our AV fellows were working so hard this week to try and correct it. I came into the room, and Alejandro and our day manager, Brahma, were there holding the screen up, taking little hooks, trying to get it to the right level. But we are definitely looking into that and making corrections, trying to do the least expensive first, and then making whatever investment we need to. So pretty soon it will be back at a level, because Gurudev always wanted, whether the yantra or the speaker was showing the full vision of that divine expression. So we're working on our screen, and thank you for your patience as we end up fixing it. And this screen is not needed for the next light that is coming before us, who is the Reverend Lakshmi Barsel. Lakshmi and her husband Paraman are both regular speakers at Satsang, and they hold great wisdom, sharp intellects, and loving hearts. Over the weeks, whenever Lakshmi is introduced, we always point out that she has a PhD in linguistic anthropology, but I think Lakshmi also has a PhD in meditation. There's hardly a morning at 5 a.m. when we go to Guru Bhavan that you won't see Lakshmi sitting there. And again, at 6 p.m., Lakshmi is not only sitting there, but often a leader of those evening meditations. She has done Gurudev's practices for a long time, without break and with great love. One way that Lakshmi has served, in addition to being one of our primary teachers of our scriptures, is that she headed up our prison program. She directed that project for 16 years, I believe. And she and her husband Paraman also developed a correspondence course for the prisoners who were studying the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And they are presently turning that course into 2 self-guided manuals. So those of you who are benefiting from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, I think what this offering will help you go even deeper with it. What's that? Also on the Living Gita. Oh, Living Gita also. Great, yes, I see that here. Thank you. And she's, Lakshmi, in addition to sharing the teachings and practicing them here, serves as an integral yoga minister. She is presently not only a member of the Integral Yoga Ministry Board, but she's the director of the Integral Yoga Ministry Seminary. This evening, she will speak on Serve All and Love All, the Integral Yoga Ministry Way. Lakshmi.
Before I begin, is this good for you? The good right level and everything? Back. Okay, good. I want to make a correction. My going to morning meditation is all about Gurudev. Years ago, in the very early days of this ashram, one Jayanti, we had given him all these little presents, and he opened up one, and then another, and then another, and finally, after they were all opened and he received them, he said, "Thank you so much, but I have to tell you, if you really want to give me a present, go to morning meditation." You know, and I thought, okay, that's it. He wants a Jayanti present. That's my present to him. And ever since then, I've been very regular on the morning meditation. And now that the ashram's opened again, I try to be very regular on the evening meditation whenever I can make it. But usually I'm not doing other things at 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's easy to get to. Okay, so my talk tonight is on Love All, Serve All, the Integral Yoga Ministry. So who are the Integral Yoga Ministers? Let's begin with just a simple definition. All right. In a nutshell, we are an order of ministers dedicated to God, Guru, and the precepts of Integral Yoga. Okay. We usually live in the world, serve the divine in the form of God, Guru, and whatever image or name of God that appeals to us, such as Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, or whatever tradition we love, given to us by Moses, Muhammad, or Zoroaster. Okay, we serve our spouses, our partners, our children, our families, our friends, the entire community in which we live. So, to the best of our ability, we follow the Integral Yoga precepts, the Integral Yoga lifestyle, dedicated to the practice of yoga. Disciplines of to the yoga disciplines, to non-attachment and selfless service. Occasionally, one of our ministers can eke out a living as a clergy person, but usually most of us make our living by doing something else in the world. And all of our spiritual ministering is done in our spare time. So how did the Integral Yoga ministry begin? It began at the end of 1979, 4 years after our first group of sannyasis were ordained. One of our teachers, then known as Jagannath Carrera, began to think about the Integral Yoga ministry for single and married people in our Integral Yoga family. As a young woman, his mother had been a member of the Third Order of St. Francis of Assisi. It's a non-monastic order for both single and married people. And she told him about it, and it seemed to strike a chord. He believed that there were many householders in our Sangha that shared the same zeal as their sannyas brothers and sisters, but had no way of formalizing their devotion and dedication. In March of 1980, he mustered up enough courage to write Gurudev a letter, all right, who received his letter with much enthusiasm. And he said, I've been thinking about this too. I've been thinking about a ministry for our married people. So, and he was really thrilled to have Jagannath come forward with this suggestion. So he gave him the task of putting together the first ordination of the ministers for Jayanti, which is July, the full moon in July in 1980. Better? Okay. Can you hear me better? All right, good, good. All right. So, let's see. So by July, 23 ministers were ordained, 7 on the West Coast and 16 on the East Coast. So Gurudev originally thought of this new order of clergy as an interfaith ministry. But what he meant by that was that our service was to be grounded in truth is one, paths are many. All right. So he felt that it would be appropriate for an Integral Yoga minister to co-officiate at ceremonies of other faiths and to add elements to many ceremonies from any tradition, but what we should not officiate as ministers of these other faiths, for which we were not ordained ministers. He wanted our ministry to be grounded in public service. He wanted us to be glowing examples of integral yoga, to live the teachings, to be selfless, loving, and kind, to exhibit dedication, discipline, and devotion, to be responsible for the growth of our integral yoga community. He wanted us to be guided by Master Shivananda's adage, serve, love, give, purify, meditate, and realize. Okay. Over the years, the ministers have been available to perform many of the ceremonies requested by householders: weddings, baby blessings, house blessings, engagement or vow of intent ceremonies, funerals, interfaith services. We also perform pujas and provide spiritual mentoring to those who call upon us. We offer workshops and ongoing scripture classes. My own journey on this path has been a very joyful one. I was actually there at the Satsang at the Connecticut ashram when it was announced that there was going to be an integral yoga ministry. I remember it appealed to me, but it took me many years before I was ready to dedicate myself in this way. It's very seductive living at the ashram. We feel like we're serving all the time. And why should we need a program or an ordination when we feel so dedicated and that we are already serving to the maximum capacity? Okay, but that's a trick of the mind, you see. In my case, shortly after Gurudev's Mahasamadhi in 2002, I began to feel more of a calling. Okay, I realized that by becoming a minister, I would be letting people know that I was available to serve. So by 2006, at the Mahasamadhi celebration in August, I was ordained with several other wonderful integral yogis, now known as Reverend Paraman Barsel, Reverend Prakash Shakti, and Reverend Premajoti of the Fairlawn IYI. And there might have been a few others, but at this point I can't remember who they were. So the ceremony went as follows. There was a puja. We were given the minister's vow, which we're to say daily. And then there was the Gayatri mantra. And then our robes were blessed. I didn't have any idea of how I wanted to serve at the beginning. I was just content to repeat this new beautiful mantra that was given to me, along with my own personal mantra. Okay, and to just let things unfold. With each day, the Gayatri mantra seemed to have a greater and greater transformative effect upon me. My heart was opening in a way that I never imagined. I wanted to serve everyone and everything. I love serving, even in the simplest of ways, putting out bird seed for the birds in the woods around our house, watering the flowers in my garden. I just felt so connected with everything and everybody. At this time, I was the director of program development at the ashram. And one day, Hari Barker came into my office to talk about Integral Yoga publications. Okay. He mentioned a letter from a prisoner who had a lot of questions, and it had been shuffling around on his desk for at least 6 weeks because he didn't have time to answer it. And he asked if I would answer it. And I immediately thought, oh dear, a letter from a spiritual aspirant asking for help, and we're not answering him. So I said, give it to me. The next week, there was another letter from another prisoner, and I answered it. And then 1 week later, a third letter from yet another prisoner came, and I said, okay, just give me all the letters. Okay. And that's how the Satchidananda Prison Project began. Before I knew it, we had a donor who had printed up almost all of Gurudev's books in India. And the Prison Project was one of the many departments that these books were made available to. Okay. We got donations of money, and the ashram helped me with the postage and the office supplies. Then volunteers began to come and help me. I began, and after that, they began asking for something more. They said, listen, there's a correspondence course with the city yoga people, but that's not my path. This is my path. I want you to write, to create a correspondence course for us, for those of us that are dedicated to integral yoga. So I started writing one on the Yoga Sutras, and then a few years later on the Living Gita. I never planned this ministry. It just happened. It just unfolded. And even to this day, when I receive one of those letters, I find it infinitely interesting to answer these letters. It never dies. Okay, we've been able to serve thousands of people, give them Sri Gurudev's books and guidance, and transform them in many ways that they never imagined. With every letter I answer, I see my true self in that person, waiting to be awakened and waiting to receive the amazing teachings of Sri Swami Satchidananda. At one point in my life, I was lost, searching for the light, not knowing where to go or how to find it. Then Sri Gurudev appeared and opened the door. Okay. These poor prisoners are just like I was then. Okay. All I have to do is put their books in their hands. And like me, many of them begin to find their way and to feel their lives transformed. They write me and they say, I walk around the yard and I'm smiling. I feel like I've gotten this true essence, the truth that I never had before. I know where to go and what to do with my life now. Okay. So, what is the future? What does the future hold for us? My new calling is as the director of the Integral Yoga Seminary. All right. We are restructuring the curriculum of our ministry so that anywhere in the world, anyone can become one of our ministers. We are creating a structure in which our seminarians and future ministers will be able to enhance their yogic lifestyle, deepen their dedication and devotion, and grow in the principles of integral yoga. In the past, our seminary was very much oriented to those who were serving at the ashram or at an integral yoga center. Now we are opening up our seminary to those who have served in many ways and in many places in the outside world. Okay. So we hope with this little talk, we have given you some insights into who we are and where we are going. If you are one of those integral yogis that wants to go deeper, please get in touch with us. Check out www.integralyogaministry.org, and click at the bottom of the page the word saying contact us. Send us a message. We'll answer you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And just, I see I haven't taken all that long on this talk, but it's about that time. But are there any questions in the audience that anyone has? Okay. Om Shanti. Many blessings.
Thank you, Reverend Lakshmi, for sharing that expansive service that you and the ministers are engaged in, and to exemplify how, through your work with those who are incarcerated, how Gurudev's teachings can really be of comfort to people who are in need. It reminds me of that little song, for the least, whatever you do to the least of my brethren, this you do unto me. And it's a beautiful, beautiful path, and I hope that many people will be called to serve in that way. We will now, Reverend Lakshmi mentioned that one of the aspects of the ministry is that they offer a puja, And a puja is a way that one can show one's love and devotion. And we offer a puja every morning at 8 a.m. at Chidambaram. And you're all invited to come. It starts, come a little bit before 8, and we welcome people who are just new to the community or who've been here for a long time. It's a joy to gather and to offer this service, and we hope to see you on a bright sunny morning, or tomorrow they call for rain. You're still welcome if that happens, but please try to visit us at puja some morning. You'd be most welcome. Now we'll have a little aspect of the puja here. It's what's called the Arati, and it's an offering of light. And so someone comes forward and offers the light, but they are simply the vehicle. It's the light within us. We all have that divine light. So the Arati allows someone to just be the vehicle for each of the lights that shine within us. And it's offered to a larger light, and so it will be offered to the lights on Gurudev's altar as we chant the Jyoti chant, which is a chant about light. Once the light has been offered to the altar, it will be raised and offered to the images of the saints and sages whose photographs bless this hall. And then it will be moved down and offered to each of us. And the traditional way of participating in Arati is when the light is offered in your direction, you can reach out and feel as if you're drawing the light toward you and bathing yourself in that light. So I'd like to invite Sister Vani to come forward to offer the Arati, and everyone to please stand. And we will be doing the Arati chants that are on the back of your yellow sheet. It's the end, the Satsang Arati chant of Jyoti Jyoti. Okay. Jyoti 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 Swayam, Jyoti 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 Param, Jyoti 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 Arul, Jyoti 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 Shivam, Vama Jyoti Soma Jyoti Vana Jyoti Jnana Jyoti, Mahajyoti Yoga Jyoti Vata Jyoti Nada Jyoti, Ema Jyoti Vyoma Jyoti Eru Jyoti Viru Jyoti, Eka Jyoti Eka Jyoti Eka Jyoti Jyoti Ek. Light, O light of self-effulgence, light, O light of absoluteness, light, O light of gracefulness, light, O light of auspiciousness, light of Shiva, light of moon, light divine, light of wisdom, light of heaven, light of yoga, light of wind, light of sound, light, delight, light of water, rising light, vital light, the only light, the only light, give us light, O light of light. You may be seated for our closing chants. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from unreal to real. Lead us from darkness to the light. Lead us from the fear of death to knowledge of immortality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinau Vatitamastu, Ma Vid Vishavadahi. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May God protect us, grant us wisdom's fruit. May we gain energy to know the truth. May our intellects grow clear and bright. May we cherish no ill feeling toward anyone. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Kayena Vacha Manasendriyervad Budyat Manava Prakritir Swabhavad Karomi Adyad Sakalam Parasmahi Guru Varayeti Samarpayami. Whatever actions I may perform, impelled by the forces of nature, by body, word, mind, senses, intellect, soul, I offer to the feet of my Sat Gurudev. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. May the entire universe be filled with love and light, and victory to that light. Jai Shri Satguru Sachidanandaji Maharaj Ki. Thank you all very much for being with us this evening. I hope that you are peaceful and joyful and harmoniously get a good night's sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow.